1 in 10. What does that mean? I'll paint you a picture of a newborn life. This is Emily. Like 1 in 10 children, she will be born dyslexic. The left peripentorum part of her brain will be affected, which means her neural pathways will be different from those without dyslexia. Emily will see patterns most of us cannot see. She will grasp complex problems with ease and will think laterally, differently, and creatively. Because of her dyslexia, Emily could change the world with an invention or inspire a generation of her thinking. Like Albert Einstein, John Lennon, Agatha Christie, or Richard Branson, these people made the world in which we live, and they are all dyslexic. The content from this came from a video, Why Dyslexia is Not a Disadvantage, and it was made by Dyslexia, the company. The world sees dyslexia as a disadvantage, when in reality, it is not. The word God, G-O-D, written on a chalkboard, would read dog to a dyslexic. 40% of self-made millionaires are dyslexic. 60% of entrepreneurs in the world are dyslexic. A high school senior, 18 years old, Erwin, went into the military recruiting office in Los Angeles, California. He sat at a desk and took a rather lengthy test for the entrance exam into the Army. To his dismay, he scored average. He knew he would go to Vietnam and may not come home. The next day, he was tested again and scored in the top 0.005 percentile for the United States military. What changed? An officer gave the test to Erwin verbally. Diagnosis: Erwin had dyslexia. Tools and techniques changed the way he thought and learned. Dr. Kate Griggs, the founder and creator of Made by Dyslexia, talked about her life as a dyslexic in a video entitled Creative Brilliance of Dyslexia. Dr. Griggs attended the only dyslexic school in England with her brother. She married a dyslexic and has 2 dyslexic sons. She decided to change the world and started Made by Dyslexia. She opened a sperm bank for dyslexics in a mall in England. The Dyslexic Sperm Bank was actually an awareness center for the disorder. Dyslexics are not dumb or lazy or stupid. They just learn differently than 90% of the population. Windows and walls, catalogs and doctors disseminated information and shared stories of famous dyslexics to curiosity seekers who entered the Dyslexic Sperm Bank. Steve Jobs, Henry Ford, Alexander Bell, and a host of others had this disorder and functioned outside of the normal box. Have you ever met a dyslexic? When reading, most individuals receive information at the front, middle, and back of their brain. Receptors, channels, and process inputted visual cues to differentiate words. Dyslexics only use the front of their brain. Missing information becomes jumbled letters, numbers, and words. Dr. Richard Marion Robbins has worked with dyslexics all his teaching life, and he states, cognitive learning is done through the audible and tactile information processed in the brain, end of quote. Dr. Robbins then went on to say, Individuals with dyslexia literally think out of the box. As teachers, we need to get out of the normal teaching box and experience the learning process of the 1 in 10. What would persuade you to learn more about the 1 in 10? You probably already know someone in your circle of friends who is part of the 1 in 10 group. My grandson Max is dyslexic. He learns through hands-on experience and verbal cues. He is homeschooled because the Alpine school district in which he lives could not provide for his needs. I got involved with his education by teaching him 1 day a week for 4 hours of reading, math, and other cool things. And then on another day, 2 hours of art. He is a remarkable student. Just like the newborn Emily, Max came into this world with a different thinking process. Maybe he will change the world. They truly are our future. What can you do to help others like Max and Emily?